also to say, when you say you push, just slightly push, that is so true. I don't know what word you can use in that, but it's it it, it it's so encouraging and so because I could quite easily given up. I've had the resistance, with being dyslexic and stuff, can't do this and that. But you help to push through that resistance because you might get one resistance, two resistance, push through in such a holding your hand way that you can get through that, the barriers that are stopping you. And like when you said, I think it was on Monday that regarding um when things are right for you and you got the and you're like your monkey talk and stuff. No, you're no good at this. You ain't got it right, and no, the client's not happy. It's so easy to give up, but having a mentor that no, you you're good at this. Push through that is so it it helps you to finish the line, you know, to finish the course, to get there. Because and I know I need it, and it's the right. You're pushing it slightly. I'm not explaining. You're pushing it in a place you don't want to be, because slightly you push so your toes are touching. Oh, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy, and you just slowly, with your resistance. No, 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 no. No, I'm not doing this right. I'm not comfortable, and area. But we've got to go through that to be able to get to the finish line, and you're able to do that in your way, your unique way of doing it, which gets you there. Because yeah, but to me and to others, you're having their encouragement. Maybe like say that if you've got disabilities and that you can't do that, you can do this because you do. So you do find different ways of teaching to tweak your students. Most teachers don't do that. And one thing I have had, and I've said to a teacher before, your job is to teach. You're not teaching. So now you've got to go out there and find a different method or a way of teaching us how we need to be being teached. That's your job, not my job, you know and don't get at us because we're not learning because you're not teaching it right. You're not
Yeah.
teaching it so we can learn. Do you understand? Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
but
it's the teacher's job, and I believe this very strongly.
yeah,
It's the teacher's job to find the way the student learns
yes,
and to
yes,
unlock that. That's the
yes,
teacher's job.
yeah. And
That's
that's what, yeah,
teaching.
yeah, and that's what most teachers don't do.
Yeah. And that's because you also know that I believe that everybody does the best that they can,
Yeah,
with whatever resources, support, capability that they have.
yeah,
So when a teacher isn't able to be flexible in their teaching, it's usually because they don't have enough teaching experience
yes, yeah,
and they only know their way. So they can only explain the way that they do it, and they're not
yeah,
able to
yeah,
see the other ways that you can
yes,
communicate with animals,
yes,
other ways
yes,
there are to body
yeah,
scan, the other
yeah,
ways there are to receive information, because they don't receive it like that.
yeah,
And they've
yeah,
maybe not come across anybody else before
yeah,
that does it like that. And that's why, as you know, my mantra always is, it is not my job when you look at my materials and how I teach. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. It's not my job to
yeah,
pigeonhole you into this is how you do animal communication. You do
yeah,
this, and this. My job is to say, this is what's worked for me. And the majority of all my students over time, does it work for you? And if it does, great. If it doesn't, great.
mm,
Then
mm,
we're on an
mm,
adventure
yeah,
and we
yeah,
find what works for that person.
yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that's 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 teaching.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think, and this is really strong, and I know that this is a private conversation, and but
Yeah.
I did allude to it in the masterclass. Um, but I do believe that if you're not doing that, it borders on abuse.
Mm,
If you are hammering into your participant, this is the way to do it. And if they can't do it that way, then you are impacting their confidence, their
mm-hmm,
self-esteem,
mm,
their sense of purpose, their possibility, potentiality, that is just getting chipped and chipped and chipped and
yeah.
chipped and chipped away at. And that for me is actually an abusive situation. So yeah, yeah, it's an interesting one. So I love that we found your way to do this work.
Oh God, yeah. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great
And
stuff.
more
And the
so,
gentle pushing.
yes, yes.
It's the gentle
It's
pushing. No
but
shoving.
we
I don't shove.
no, but we all need that. We all need that because you got to get out of that comfort zone to learn and grow. And you don't really want to be out, but to get where you want to go, you have to do that. And
Yeah.
also, I've found like the way of learning with doing these case studies is I'm better with somebody or give them the feedback over the phone because
Absolutely.
like with this cat, I'm doing it now rather than sending them the what writing it down. I'm phoning them up. The one that we're doing that, and that's I phoned up when I then was on the phone to her. My God, it was like everything just came down. It was like I was the channel to for up there, to her for the cat, and there was so much come out for her dad. I
Yeah.
had to write a whole page. We're on the phone for nearly an hour and a half to her with just constant. It was, and also I've done it so I've got the client to actually ask the questions for me to ask.
Ah.
Oh my God, what connection that? I mean,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
I mean,
I
she
need
was
to
just
add that into your form. So you
yeah.
have found your way to do this work.
Yes, yes. And when because she goes, can you read my writing? No, not read. She said, I'll read it. I said, oh my God. I said, you got to read all the questions because while you're reading, my connection is
Yeah.
just, it just all,
Absolutely. Because here's the thing, and I'm not a dyslexic specialist or expert in any way at all, but I
mm,
understand the way the brain works.
yeah,
So, with your dyslexia, when you are reading the questions, you are having to work really hard just to
mm,
read it. So all your
yeah,
focus, all your mind and brain's attention is on you're in the left side of your brain because you're working
yeah,
out pattern of the letters.
yeah,
You're working
yes,
out like you're because you know that your letters don't they jumble up and so
yeah, they do,
you're
yeah,
problem solving in order to read the question. So if you're
yeah,
problem solving, you're in the left side of your brain. Animal communication happens over on the right side of the brain.
yeah,
So you're now in the left side, problem solving to read the question. When your client reads a question, you're not in the left side because you don't need to do that. You're now fully over on the right side,
mm,
which is where
yeah,
the animal communication happens.
mm,
That's why it flows in because you've completely removed the logical sequencing part of the brain that needs to be active for you to read and understand the question before you answer it. Your brain's going
mm,
through so many more steps than the person that's not dyslexic.
mm, mm,
So you've eradicated that. That's why the information flows because you've taken that left side out, which leaves you fully open on the right side, which is
yeah,
where the communication takes place. And as you said, the information just flowed right the way through.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this is your way to do it. You
yeah.
found it.